The general have arrived. The general have arrived. The general take his eyes. She look at the general. She shook at the general. She smiled at the general. The general has arrived. The general thinks so wise. The general always thought of this girl that always looked her side. The general has arrived. The general thinks sometimes. The general came, he always look around. The general has arrived. The general think of times. The general came in time. The general thinks sometimes. The general has arrived. The general think of times. The general always came on time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general seemed to like. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. All the time it is the general. All the things she liked is the general. All the things she thought of is the general. She looked at the general side. The general has arrived. The general thinks are bright. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general thought sometimes. The general smiled. The general looked around. The general scarred her eyes looking at his side. The general thought sometimes. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general. The girl looks so nice. It's the general. To say good morning, sir, once at a time. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general seemed to never make much mistake while he was around the side. The general has arrived. The general thought sometimes. It's the general. The general always came in time. It's the general. The general think clear in his mind. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general seemed to act the way he likes. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general. The girl really liked the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general seemed to never act so shy. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general thought sometimes. The general has arrived. The general think twice. It's the general. He never made much mistake with his life. It's the general. The girl looks so nice. It's the general. The girl thought sometimes. It's the general. The girl looks so sweet and odd in her mind. It's the general. She feel like she looked the same at the time. It's the general. It's the general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general seemed to act the same. It's the general. He always do what he likes, it's the general. He always think clear in his mind, it's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. It's the general. The general came in time. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general. The girl looks so nice. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general. All the time. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general. The general has arrived. The general came in time. The general has arrived. The general came in time. It's the general.